So this is my 3D printed Excalibur 2 handle modification. It allows the whole detector to be mounted on a single straight shaft. It's got excellent weight balance. You can see there it balances on one finger really nicely. It's a bit hard to film all this with one hand. But it's pretty nice to use with that balance there. The handle and armrest are both adjustable by these grub screws. You just loosen off the screw a couple of turns. And everything slides up and down on the rails. It's a little bit stiff, but that's okay. We want that. It'll loosen up with use. I've just had it down at the beach too, so there's possibly a little bit of sand in there. Tighten that one back up. I like this one. Just at the end of the rail there, you can actually run it down past the end of the rail. I'll have to loosen that screw. Right down until the screw's going in the bolt that goes through and holds the whole thing together. I've left the same deal going on down there. I actually just realised I've been down at the beach detecting with this, and I realised I forgot to put the nut and the washer on there. It's actually really solid. It's not really solid. I'm really surprised with that. How, you should have the nut on there though. And yeah, with the adjustment, you can go anywhere up and down there. There we go. I've got the grub screw right on the bolt. As you can see, you can still get to those buttons. I don't know if I can do it with one hand, but two hands you can separate the battery for charging, no worries. And I can probably get it back on. No, not quite. Two hands to get it back on as well, but there you go. Just clips in there. All solid. No worries. We've got some legs up the back for propping against the wall or the concrete. I don't jam my headphones in there. Sits it off the concrete nicely. Nothing's getting damaged. If you can also chuck your headphones through there like so, and it'll keep them up off the ground and keep them clean too. The shaft has 5 levels of adjustment. You can see those holes there. I've got the press buttons on both sides. And that range spans over 200 millimeters or 8 inches of range, as opposed to the 3 points of adjustment over about 3 inches on the original Minelabs shaft. The handle here uses the same sliding rail system as the armrest. Just slides up and down like nicely. So you can set it up for really short-armed people, or for longer-armed people like myself. And the further down this way it is, the better the balance point is too. So I run it pretty much at the end of the rail. The armrest itself, everything is printed in ABS plastic, so it's nice and flexible. So it'll fit a whole wide range of arm sizes. Velcro in there. I'll just go on halfway down my forearm on a skinny bit. That still does up really nicely. Okay, because of that flex, it also lets you get your arm in and out nicely when you're stopping to have a dig. And it's always nice and firm, because the flex actually, when your arm goes in there and pulls that up, it pulls the sides in. See that? That needs to be a tiny bit tighter for my arm. And, oh, look at that. Fits like a glove, but yeah, you come in and out as easy as you like. The handle's nice and long. There's 2 main grip positions. When I'm out on open ground with the shaft extended out long to cover lots of area, I like to grab it at the top. And you can really cover a lot of ground. It's nice and light. The balance is really good there. When I'm in water and harder going and shorter shaft, I like to grab it down the bottom because it's just a bit stronger there. And it gives you a bit more control, a bit more power. Okay, you can mount the control unit either way around with the knobs on the left or the right. As you can see, I detect left-handed, so I can dig with my right. And so I've mounted all the knobs on the left-hand side so that it's away from my body. Now the other thing you can see here is that this prop at the back also clips on your belt really nicely. I'm usually detecting with my trusty nail bag there on. And I just, when I'm going for a dig, I just prop the detector over to behind me like so. Clip it on my belt. It's quite solid. I can go for a bit of a walk there. That's hanging in the belt of my pants through my tech shirt there. Okay, so it's not fallen down. So I think I've just about got everything. I'm a bit curious what people think about the handle shape. I've gone with a 15-degree angle from the shaft there. That seems to be about what all the other detectors are using and feels very comfortable. I'm probably not quite finalised on this design. I think I'm going to make the whole thing. So you can see it's got a bit of taper to the middle and then tapers down. It's got a nice knob on the top, so it's very comfortable. Your hand's not slipping off. Good solid grip. I think I'm going to make the whole thing a tiny bit fatter, maybe a teeny bit wider this way at the top and possibly at the bottom, probably not at the bottom. And I'm definitely going to round these corners off a little bit more, put a bit more fillet on there because that 2mm radius fillet down the corners is a bit sharp on the hands. It's pretty comfortable. So there you go, and that's the other thing, is that actually it's so well balanced now like this that you don't even need to have your arm through the strap if you're like halfway through digging a hole or whatever, you want to check your target. You know, pick it up, have a dig, put it down on your hip, have a bit of a dig with your other hand free, pick it up, dig, check your target. I'm not putting my arm through the strap there, it's just balanced beautifully. So, and I also have a dive shaft version too. Slight compromise had to be made there to use this length of aluminium. I could make it 50mm longer, which wouldn't be a big deal, but just so it'd fit on there. I reduced the back armrest rail. I've got two more spare rails there. That one's the front one. Line the hole up with the bolt hole. And the back one's actually 50mm shorter. I don't see that being a big deal. This one's actually probably ridiculously long when it comes out the back there. I've got 50mm to spare there. I could probably put the shorter one on all of them and just shorten the total shaft length. Or compromise and go 25 and 25, and because this shaft is actually the offcut from that shaft. The shafts themselves are aluminium. Okay, and I've drilled them out nicely with a drill press. Everything's square and straight, everything fits really good. There's no play. Let's see if I can grab that between my knees. There's no play in that shaft, there's no wobble, no click and rattling. It's just a nice fit. But it's still possible to just slide it out if the button's in. Look at that. And out she comes. Okay, slides in nice. Rest the buttons down. There she goes. Click. Buttons on both sides, as opposed to the original Minelabs system with just one. This is the original Minelabs shaft. They would have had a 2-button pressy thingy in there, and it just only had one hole drilled out, so I just drilled out the other side. I've only got a short amount of adjustment on the dive shaft, and this is really hard to do with one hand. There we go. Just because of tight tolerances, it doesn't really, once the whole detector unit's on there, it's doesn't really leave a lot of room to spare. So there you have it. That is my 3D printed homemade single shaft modification for the Minelabs Excalibur metal detector. I'm going to stitch on some extra photos and some footage of me using this at the beach in some pretty rough conditions to demonstrate that it's still strong and well balanced and works really good. Thanks for watching.